Good morning and welcome back to the Toronto Rock Athletic Center here in Oakville, Ontario. My name is Matthew Carrick alongside our JVI Sports Network crew as we present to you day number 2 of the 2023 President's Cup. If you're looking for the game between Snake Island and Six Nations, it is located on our main channel. If you search up JVI Sports Network, it will be there. This is our secondary channel where we will be featuring Edmonton Miners and the Tuscarora Tomahawks, two teams that got things kicked off yesterday with losses. Tuscarora dropping a 10-7 decision to Snake Island. A couple late goals in that one for Tuscarora after Snake Island had changed their goaltender out. Snake Island playing the double yesterday, splitting it 1-1, and they'll try and go 2-1, the first team to 2 victories over on the main turf here at the Toronto Rock Athletic Center, the blue turf, if you will. We're on the red side. Meanwhile, Edmonton, a fantastic game yesterday between them and the Ladner Pioneers. Edmonton stormed back after being down 3-1 early, took a lead, but Ladner came back late, and the defending champions were able to knock off Edmonton by a score of 10-9. So they're not must-wins until they are must-wins, and this one certainly feels like it for both of these two teams as they crouch in over the face-off. Couple changes in net. Matt Hebert will go for Edmonton. Chase Martin in there for Tuscarora, and the opening face-off is underway, and it gets in the stick of the Tomahawks, who are wearing their maroon jerseys and going right to left off the visitors' bench here in period number 1. Scheduled for 3:20s here as we play modified CLA summer ball rules. If you missed our coverage yesterday, we'll talk you through all the changes as they become available. First shot in there on Hebert. Ended up bouncing wide, and now Travis Burton of Edmonton will start the counterattack for the Miners, who are in white. Here's Melnick taking it to the crease, and he scores. Important for both of these sides to get out early, and it is the Miners on the run. That will lead 1-0. Tyler Melnick finding a cutter. And once again, the early lead here for the Pioneers. You follow presidentscup.lacrosse.ca for standings, scores, and stats as the day progresses, including the entire schedule, which we'll update you on as the day goes. 5 games scheduled here over the 2 floors. This is the only one here on the red side for today's games. Jarrett Toll up top puts it to the far side. That's Jimmy Chadwick. I thought it was in 44. Taking the shot. And Dan Kritkowski has to just dump it away with the shot clock late. Played a minute and a half here in the first period. First shot went in behind Chase Martin. Randy Kreisler will back him up today, so no Dylan Sprents, who helped lead Tuscarora into this President's Cup and played very well in yesterday's opening game. Bounce shot there from Christensen, intercepted. And out comes Tuscarora, led by Heron Snow. He'll go cross floor. Backing into coverage, Marvin Curry. Ended the day with 2 goals yesterday. Devin Napoleon did not play in yesterday's opener. His shot wide there as Nick Miller picks up. Ball bounces all the way back for Heron Snow, and you can see as he comes back towards the timeline, walks across it, and one of those CLA rules is no over and back unless you're killing a penalty. Then it actually turns into the face-off restraining lines that you see. And not the timeline itself. Here's Melnick. Set up the opening goal. Christensen in the middle. A sidearm shot for Matt Christensen, who got dumped after taking that rip. And now all the way down floor, Jason Williamson, will recover. Melnick coming in again. 3 minutes gone here in the first period. 17 to go. Still waiting for the first shot on net from Tuscarora. Ball across to the near side, intended for Levi Anderson. Play broken up by Anthony Patterson, who's out there on defense right now. One of the offensive leaders of this Tomahawks team. Will stay up in transition as the Tommies come in, and ball bounced into the corner, wide of the mark. Devin Buckshot still looking for that first Tuscarora shot. Down to the crease, diving through, and they call it no goal. Chadwick going nose to nose with Mike Seidel. Seidel drew some side eye from a couple of players on the Ladner side of things yesterday. In a game that wasn't dirty by any stretch, but still kind of a few things here or there that got players a little upset. Anderson on the run. We'll see the ball go through Anderson a lot on this Edmonton side of things. Corey Becker playing here for Carson Reese. His sidearm shot hits off the foot of Justin Morgan. And now picking up the rebound out of the corner. This will be Cody Hawkins running away with it. He'll actually pass to Morgan on the near side, and Melnick will take over again. Up top, Christensen, Melnick sidestepping his way back through. Shot clock down to 10. Melnick's going to take to the crease and dive. And part of that crease rule is if you're going to dive, the feet have to stay out of that cylinder. That goes all the way up. Of course, NLL crease rules, you can dive anywhere you like, just don't land in it. But different set of circumstances here in the CLA. Devin Buckshot. That one does find the mark for the first shot of the game officially for Tuscarora in on Matt Hebert. Big pile up digging for it, and then in comes Nate Gillespie to shove the pile through. And do we have our first penalty of the game? Yes, we do. James Chadwick going off for an illegal cross-check will give the Miners an opportunity here on the power play. So here's Mike Triolo setting up top. Triolo here for Anderson. Triolo getting it back. Quiet first period for Triolo, but not this time as he'll set up Colin Bergloff for the second goal of the game. So a 2-0 lead now, 14-13 to go here in the first. Tuscarora still with just one shot on net as Devin Buckshot controls the face-off and sends it in on goal. Again, if you're looking for Snake Island, Six Nations, that's located on JVI's main channel. Search up JVI Sports Network. Also search for the 2023 President's Cup. There's a full playlist over on the main channel where you can find all the games linked, including the 5 that'll be played here today. Save from Hebert. He'll spring Caden Gulka. Gulka leaving for Triolo. Finish the story on him. Very quiet first period. Came out after the first intermission and was throwing the ball off the board. So Brian Shanahan and I believe he made a stick, some change to the head of his stick if he restrung it. And it worked. Ended up with 5 points, including a hat trick in yesterday's game. Derek Burak send the ball far side. Shot clock count is on the floor with the officials. As Matt Christensen got dumped, looking for Levi Anderson near side. It'll roll right into the stick of Kent Baker Printup, the captain of this Tomahawks team today. Player all over him, so Napoleon. We'll see what he can do here on the right side of the floor. Passing back, Curry's low shot. Ends up skipping off the end boards. It goes all the way back over center, and Jason Williamson is all alone, but on his wrong side. And Williamson gonna run for cover. Triolo. Down into the corner. It's Bergloff looking for his second, the bouncer. Into the feet there of Martin, whose helmet game is always on point. But then again, so are the Miners. Best team buckets in the tournament by far. The red chrome. Loving it. Here comes Matt Kim. Matt Kim all the way himself in transition. Trying to stay out of the crease was Napoleon. And now Heron Snow. See if Tuscarora can get an offensive set. Not whole much doing offensively for them here in the opening 7 minutes or so, 8 minutes of this first period, 11:30 to go. Left in period number 1. That one bounced in on Hebert after it hit a body, and Jarrett Toll had to bring it up. Hebert standing his ground after the weird bounce. Up top, Bergloff shakes his man, cuts to the net. Triolo can't find him with a pass. It was knocked down. Excuse me, that's Melnick. Now finding the big body of Triolo. Swim move, cuts through, shot and saved by Martin. Now on the run, Tuscarora back the other way. In transition again, and the shot just sails wide out of the stick of Dan Krakowski. Tuscarora didn't push as much as we thought they might in the first game yesterday. First appearance since 1994, we were told, in the President's Cup, when they won. And it'll be transition again, though. Ron John, another player who was huge for the Tomahawks in that playoff run. Ron John was quiet yesterday and leads the transition here. And Anderson bouncing around right near the restraining line. Call for help comes from the bench. It's Triolo who's got a seam into the bouncer. Got a piece of Martin and then went sky high. Anthony Patterson jogging in now. Tuscarora will do the double today. Myself and Brian Shanahan will call their game at 8 o'clock Eastern time against the host Oakville Rock. Who won their opening match yesterday. Napoleon. Excuse me, I believe it was Six Nations. On the back of an unreal goaltending performance from Dustin Hill. They got their first win. Big day at the tournament for the Tomahawks. Although facing two really good teams. Down 0-1 after the first day and desperately not wanting to go down 0-2. Corey Becker ran that one in. His shot bouncing wide. No Jonathan Jimerson today. Oh, Jimerson's in, excuse me. No Evan Prince up, though. Don't see Tyler Kahn. Haven't heard much from Hunter Lemieux, although he is listed in the lineup. Isaac van der Zalm is not. Zach Belter hobbled off the floor yesterday and is not listed in the lineup here today. So we talked about most of day number one. This is a tournament of attrition and already starting to feel it for Tuscarora. Still no John Lintz for Edmonton. Christensen, though, will cut the corner. Sidearm shot gets caught underneath of Martin. Adam Yee drawing out, as does Rory Sharon in this one. Galen Ray's first President's Cup action. Here's Patterson to the net and he scores. Well, as we said, Anthony Patterson needs to be a lot more present for this Tuscarora team. Just the one goal in yesterday's game. And Patterson has one here. Comes with 7 minutes left in the first period on the fifth shot of the game from Tuscarora. And all of a sudden the Tomahawks back in this. When the Miners played Ladner yesterday, they represented 4 of the last 5 President's Cup gold medalists. Of course, Ladner, the defending champions. Miners ran off 3 straight, 16, 17, and 18 before the Rivermen won in 2019. Of course, 2 years without this wonderful tournament. Nick Miller. How did that go in? We're all tied up on a funny hop. That bounces Tuscarora's way off the faceoff. Ben Austin getting the majority of the handshakes. Him and Heron Snow somehow connect to tie this game. About 13 seconds after the last goal was scored. Looked like movement from Tuscarora. It went undetected by the official. Miners get the face-off anyways. It's Golka pushing it down to the half-boards. Anderson going to wait and see what he can find. It's a cutter far side. Martin with a big save and a second one. With Golka coming in. Back-to-back saves for Chase Martin, who historically has been able to steal games. A bouncer from outside, Marvin Curry, as Tuscarora starts to heat up. (3-2). The score in favor now of Tuscarora. We're down 2-0 less than a minute ago. Almost bang on that minute mark. 6:13 to play in the first. And 3 straight shots, including one funky bounce. Tomahawks will take all of that and more if they can. Cross floor pass looking for Christensen. Bounces wide. Triolo. A few words there for Kritkowski. Buckshot joins the offense. He was the last man off the bench. And heads up over there, Steve Toll on the home bench. Ducking for cover, as was Justin Morgan. That one came in hot and heavy. And speaking of, it's the captain Triolo back the other way, tying this game. Don't let him get hot, because yesterday, as we said, Triolo took over that third period. Really came to life in the second. Did Mike Triolo. Is now Kim will try and run in, and that's another one off the right arm of Chase Martin. Finish the thought on Martin. You know, one of those goalies that when it gets down to the wire can really stand tall. So if you can get at him early on, maybe the time to do so. Napoleon down the shot on Hebert. Came from Carson Reese. Rolls to the outside boards. Collision there, forces the pass back up for Chadwick. Chadwick's played in a number of national tournaments, including the Founders Cup a couple times. Now joining Tuscarora. Napoleon, hard shot off a body, up out of play. It'll stay in the tomahawk stick. By the way, Edmonton's double day. Trying to check the schedule. I thought it was tomorrow. As Kim rolls back out. Melnick slowing things down. Christensen, the quick touch pass to put it back outside. Melnick through the middle, picks the corner. That ball was winging. Through that Edmonton offense, and it ends with a beautiful shot from Melnick. And just like that, the Edmonton Miners, with just under 4 to play in the first, are back on top, 4-3. Edmonton actually play their double today. They're back on floor, 5 p.m. Eastern time, taking on Six Nations, who again are in action right now against Snake Island on the JVI's main channel. If you search up JVI Sports Network, if you're looking for that game. Of course, the playlist on that channel includes all games from here at the President's Cup in Oakville. If you want to watch it later or get yourself caught up with the action from yesterday. Here's Patterson looking for number 2. A bouncer into the feet of Hebert, can't go. Golko wants to go in transition. He's got Mike Triolo trailing off the bench from his wrong side. Hard shot. Hit the glass in behind Martin and then got caught up in his crease. So with 3 minutes left here in the first period, Tuscarora will turn it back the other way. Devin Napoleon finds the trailer. Reese to the outside. Chadwick spins away from Kim, gets a screen. Told the nice defensive help slide. 5 on the shot clock. As it's up top for Baker Printup, And long shot trying to beat the shot clock, does not go. 2.5 minutes left in our first period. Anderson going to direct traffic, calling for a high screen. He'll pass it all the way back for Rye instead. Christensen and Anderson. Anderson looking for the swim move. He was all alone. Stood up in his tracks by Kyle Henry. Long enough to knock the ball free. Jonathan Jimerson here for Buckshot, crossing over center inside the final 2 minutes of this first period. 4-3 the score. Brief lead for Tuscarora, their first and so far only one of the tournament. Lasted about 2 minutes. On the back of 3 straight goals. But then back-to-back for Edmonton have put them back up 4-3. Both teams have 2 timeouts as we get down the stretch. Can use at any point with Melnick looking. What a first period this has been for Melnick. But Martin closing the door with that big stick in the 5-hole. Those timeouts can be used 1 per period though, so. Roger Chrysler, Jordan Cornfield having to be cautious with them. Chadwick. Up top, a sidearm shot there from Buckshot. Napoleon couldn't cut his way through, and Burton will be there for the loose rebound. 48 seconds to go. Morgan pushing. Morgan slowing down, turning back to the restraining line, has Anderson with him. That's where the ball goes now. 15 on the shot clock, 35 now in the period. Anderson, cross floor to Christensen. Triolo circling through the middle, has to duck out of the way of the shot. But Martin was right there, 25 to go as Tuscarora takes control here. Jimerson runs in towards the restraining line. Back for Patterson, under 15 to go, now 10 in the period. Patterson, far side, Chadwick. He'll roll over the top. Chadwick back for Patterson. 5 to go. His shot, he goes wide, hits the end boards, and as Burton touches up, that should be it, and it is for our first period here on the red floor at the Toronto Rock Athletic Center. It's day number 2 of the President's Cup. Game number 2 for Edmonton and Tuscarora. Miners lead 4-3. After 1, we'll take a 9.5-minute timeout and be back for period number 2 from here at the President's Cup in Oakville. Teams making their way back onto the floor for the second period here between the Edmonton Miners and Tuscarora Tomahawks. Both teams coming in after dropping their opening match on day number 1 of the 2023 President's Cup. Six Nations winners last night. Winners yesterday, morning against Tuscarora, then lost to Ganawagi. Aaron Bold was fantastic in that game. It's Six Nations up after 1, down, oh my goodness. Early here too, folks. Snake Island up after 1 on Six Nations by a score of 4-1. If you're looking for that game, it's on JVI's main channel. Search for that. There's a playlist there that will have all the games as well. Tuscarora coming out, going left to right in this second period with a quick shot in on Hebert. But now the Miners, who pushed transition in that second period yesterday. Actually, both of these teams did it well, and Anderson proving the point right there. Bit late coming off the bench, but Anderson stretches the lead here for the Miners up to 5-3. Levi Anderson's second goal of the game. Late change, came off the bench straight to the net. Pass found him in the 15th shot of the game for Edmonton. Finds the back of the net behind Chase Martin. (4-3) after that first. 4 goals off 14 shots for Edmonton and 3 off 13 for Tuscarora. All 3 happening in a minute span. We're around the 7 to 6 minute mark of that period. Chadwick trying a little quick stick. The Miners wanted a slash on Chadwick. Not going to come. So Jared Toll passing it down into the corner for Golka, and he will now head off. Most recent goal scorer, Levi Anderson, back across for Triolo. This was the point in the game where he took over yesterday. Miners looking to return it back across the floor, and fell errant where it's picked up by Tuscarora. Nick Miller. Bring it in. Patterson will stay on. Hunter Lemieux. Didn't hear much from Lemieux in that first period. Patterson cutting through, scores. Pat Gregoire said to me yesterday that Tuscarora were pesky in that loss to Snake Island, and they're showing it again, not willing to go away. 5-4 with Patterson finding a seam. Calling that game with Brian Shanahan yesterday, it was, he mentioned the lethal outside shot that Patterson had. Wanted to see him taking some more shots like that, but when Patterson can get a step and find that lane and cut through, why wouldn't he do that as well? Penalty coming here. Nick Miller with the ball in his stick. Chase Martin making the long run here in period number 2. To the bench for the extra attacker. And it's going to be Patterson, the extra man out there. Low shot doesn't make its way through. 5 of the shot clock now for Tuscarora. And a big rip from Morgan. Goes into the back of Cody Hawkins. Mikolka heading to the box. Just our second penalty of the game for either side. First one went to Tuscarora. Patterson will quarterback. Only one who hasn't touched it right now does so, and it's Lemieux. Curry sends a high shot just over top of the bar. Shot clock down to 15. 2.5 gone in this second period as Patterson takes one. Hebert covering up, and Spencer Milne had headed down floor. The ball bouncing and died a little bit in behind him. The Toronto Rock Athletic Center was first built. This was a concrete side. Ball hockey played here, lacrosse, of course. But coming out of the pandemic, turf laid down permanently. And now there's a blue and red side here at the track. And as the guys talked about last night, starting to see the fruits of the labor with a lot of those players that play for Burlington coming through this building. They have a various number of programs. Tuscarora's shot ended up in their own bench. So with Morgan trying to kill some time, he got knocked off the ball. Jimerson for Kritkowski, and the power play will set up again with 30 seconds left. Patterson, top spot. Believe that was intended for Lemieux, and look out. Hawkins coming in hard on Lemieux. Outside shot from Curry. Hits right into the midsection of Hebert, who covers up. And that should do it for the penalty. It only has about 10 seconds left in it. 4 minutes gone in this middle frame. Goal per side so far, 5-4. Is the lead for Edmonton on top of Tuscarora. Burke to Anderson. Hard pass, cross floor to Ray. We had Ray and Rye, and we've got another one slotted in today, so apologies to Tristan Rye on that exchange. Nick Miller. Ball out of his stick. Miller will get it back, takes a low shot. Hebert to save, rebound. And Carson Reese's shot ends up in the corner. Reese going back after it. Miners pick up Golka, and there's a big scramble in front of the Edmonton bench. Tuscarora player was down. They were saying Tuscarora left early, and now Edmonton back the other way. Spencer Milne flying out the door. Hebert made the save. There's all kinds of purple jerseys on the floor, and no call from the official. Milne. Bergloff. Melnick, Bergloff cutting through. Same play they scored on early in that first period. They'll go back to Christensen on the run. Sidearm shot. Bergloff picks up the rebound. 10 on his shot clock. He'll turn and fire. Martin went into snow angel mode. Not sure where the ball was. And it had snuck out through his legs. Now closing in on 6 minutes gone here in the second period. Still just a one-goal game. Hunter Lemieux sees a shot. Only saw it for a few seconds, though, as Jared Toll closed the angle. Shot clock down to 5. Curry for Lemieux. Pass too high. This will come all the way up to center. And a late, perhaps, fire into the corner from Napoleon. That's what Edmonton had said anyway. Shot clock had definitely gone. And Rye. Back for the Miners. Triolo, big fake shot. Then his patented cut to the net move. The left wing of Martin there to save it. Anderson diving through, scores. Levi Anderson has the hat trick. And it is 6-4 for Edmonton. This one perhaps the prettiest of the bunch. He comes out of the corner, takes flight. And remember, the dive roll feet have to stay out of the cylinder. Does that well, uses his size. And flying through midair, makes the scores the goal. 6-4, 2-10. Levi Anderson is listed at. Needed all of that reach and extension there. Golka chasing down this faceoff. It'll come back for Burton. We have a delayed penalty coming, so they're calling Hebert to the bench. Again, long run for the goalies here in this second period. Triolo up top for Rye. Rye will put it in the corner. Anderson for Rye, and that sails off the face mask of Martin right at the shot clock. And it'll be a holding call here against Tuscarora. Edmonton's second power play of the game upcoming. Failed to score on their first one. This will be with just under 13 minutes to go here in the second period. Shots actually favoring the Tomahawks at this point, 20-19. Although the Miners, of course, do have a 2-goal lead, 6-4. Here's Triolo. One player of the game honors for Edmonton yesterday, and rightfully so. Back across for Anderson. The return for Christensen through the middle, kind of in between Christensen and Triolo. Captain has it now again. Anderson with 10 on the shot clock, lets one go. And Martin there to make the catch and make sure there was no rebound either. No rush for Patterson. Tuscarora shorthanded for another minute and 15. Chadwick will turn back. One hand on the stick. There was no room for him to run with Seidel. Now Toll coming over to turn it into a double team, and Chadwick will kill off the rest of that shot clock. Penalty time down to a minute and 3 seconds. 12 to go in the period. Triolo and Anderson playing a long game of catch. Christensen now joins in. Down to Bergloff on the far crease, excuse me. Triolo working off center. Bergloff, Christensen the cutter. And everyone kind of forgot about Rye, who cut in front of the crease. Rye now in behind the net. We'll see where Christensen goes. It's to the crease, and that shot can't connect. 30 seconds to go in the penalty, halfway through the shot clock. Rye backdoor had to tiptoe past the crease. And now as they go to Triolo, this one's going to go all the way down the floor. Miners go off for a change, and Tuscarora send 3 in towards net. Number of moves and a couple fakes on the doorstep. That was Tyler Kahn. Was hoping for a Woody defensive goal there, but would have been shorthanded as well. Miners will go 0 for 2 on the power play. As we're back to 5-on-5, Triolo spins past the defender. Triolo still with it. Back from Melnick to Anderson. Only a couple seconds left in the shot clock. Let it go. And well wide. 28 seconds away from the halfway mark of this period. Still 6-4 for Edmonton. Long shot, Patterson. Hebert making the save. He'll gather the rebound as well and try and spring Milne down the near side. Roger Chrysler admitting to me yesterday, said a team of no names, but if you've been following some of the B level lacrosse in this country, you do recognize some of the names on this team. NLL fans, however, not a ton of NLL experience on the Tomahawk side of things. Much different story for Edmonton. However, still coming away with a loss on day number 1. Nick Miller. And in tough against the Tomahawks here in game number 2. Lemieux back to the far side. Dragged back down. Didn't miss the top by much, did Carson Reese. As Hebert went down, the shot went up. Seidel there to pick up. Golka. Across the restraining line, far side. It's going to be, I believe that's Anderson slowing things down. Waiting for the pick from Melnick. There it comes. Swim move. Anderson shot and the save from Martin. Rebound back up high. Bergloff only able to kind of tap it there at the side of the net. Transition for Tuscarora. Running in with Miller. He'll go to the far side and Buckshot nearly got run over. Trello out there defensively. Picked up the loose ball and he'll come running back the near side. Calling for help. Motioning everybody to come join him. Down in the Tuscarora end of the floor. Trello stops. Can't shake his defender, so he passes to Anderson. Rye misplayed that, and everyone heads off to the bench now with Tuscarora running it back over the near side. Corey Becker finds the trailer in Patterson in a hard shot. Knocks Hebert down to his knees, but did make the save as here comes Golka. Already with Anderson down floor and couldn't get it to him in time. Golka looks like he wants to shoot. Levi Anderson will wait. Under 8 to play here in the second period. Anderson chased all the way back towards the timeline. Rye finds Melnick on the crease and in the crease. Call from the official. Nate Gillespie was, that's Dalen Rye. We got run over on the near side of the crease. Tail end of that play, Curry finding Chadwick. Chadwick will stop, sidearm shot, saved by Hebert. Pass will come up to Williamson. Coming up after this game on the main JVI channel, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, Ladner and Ganawaki. Jake Elliott, Pat Gregoire will take you through that one. Edmonton and Six Nations both return at 5 p.m. Eastern. And should the Rivermen lose over against Snake Island on the other floor, that will be a very interesting matchup coming up at 5. Myself, Brian Shanahan, will give you Oakville Rock at Tuscarora. That's our primetime matchup tonight. Tomahawks need a couple goals here so that it's not, at that point, that would pretty much be a must-win game for Tuscarora. And you can expect with Dylan Sprents not in today, not even listed as the backup, it's Randy Kreisler, the second goaltender for Tuscarora, who get within one here on a dive play of their own. Nick Miller. Working the pick and roll to perfection on the near side and finishing it with a crease dive. Still a one-goal game. We've been there a couple times in this one. And Tuscarora, this is a tough team to play. Looks like Rye might have gone through the crease. No call. Backdoor behind the back pass. Nifty little play to Melnick, but Chase Martin saw it and matched it the entire way. Dalen Rye up top. Goes to Anderson, far side. Levi Anderson, cross floor. This is Tristan Rye finding Christensen on the run, and his shot into the feet of Martin, who again talked about it earlier. As the game progresses, it becomes harder and harder to score on Chase Martin. Low shot turns into high from Tuscarora, and that was Carson Reese. Now Burton. Tyler Burton in transition, save made by Martin. Bergloff comes down with the rebound though, and it'll be another 30 seconds here for the Miners with 5 to go in the period. Shots all even. Edmonton leading by 1. Shaking and baking near side Anderson. And again, Tuscarora playing the hosts tonight. Expect Dylan Sprents to start that game. Nothing confirmed for the team as of yet, but without him playing in this one, that Sprents versus Nick Rose, you would imagine. Patterson, couple moves from the outside, then takes the shot, gets his own rebound. An extended possession for Nick Miller, Chadwick, and the rest of the Tomahawks offense. Miller cut in. Chadwick's pass went back up to where he was. And Napoleon had to go try and corral it, excuse me. Long outside shot, Hebert there to make the save late in the shot clock. Under 4 to play here in the second. Neither team took timeouts in that first period, so all 4 in the bag. Dalen Rye outside. Being joined there by Christensen. Anderson has it in the corner now, though. No Triolo on this offensive set. Rye cutting through. Melnick follows. Picked up and over the shoulder, behind the back. Christensen's shot. Looked like Martin saw it at the last second before making the save at the tail end of the shot clock. Kent Baker print up. Cross floor to Marvin Curry. He'll go across the top. That shot doesn't miss the left arm of Hebert by much. Well, then Curry back with it. Low pickup. And the officials say that was tipped by Miners player before Devin Buck's shots. Outside rip went up and out of play. Third phase of this offensive set for Hunter Lemieux. Far side, no shot. Lemieux will get one. Save from Hebert. And it'll be the 4th rebound recovery now. Buck shot. Back for Reese. Off the glass. Not far enough for Lemieux. And down floor, Bergloff leading Morgan. They'll go to the trailer. Triolo around the world. Number of names for that. And Brian Shanahan will hurt me if I don't call it the Bobby Allen. Here's Mill. From the corner. All alone down there is Ben Austin. Doing his best against 3 Edmonton forwards. And should be no surprise, that's Seidel. Wins that battle. Inside the 2-minute warning here in period number 2. Got ourselves a 1-goal game. Every contest at this President's Cup has been fantastic. Melnick, a number of moves. How about the find from Anderson to get it there? But now Tyler Melnick has a pair. And Anderson continues to put points up, a 2-goal lead for Edmonton with 1:40 left to play here in the second period. Chase Martin asking for a water break. Hebert is going to come and do the same. Ice Cream Bottle Company, one of the sponsors of this 2023 President's Cup. 100% recycled bottles. And the water coming from sustainable sources. Head to presidentscup.lacrosse.ca to see the entire list of sponsors, including Bar Down, where you can get your official Bar Down President's Cup apparel. If you're headed down to the Toronto Rock Athletic Center, tournament passes still available, as well as the Bar Down merchandise table. Corey Becker coming in for Tuscarora. Now facing a 2-goal deficit. Marvin Curry chasing that loose ball into the corner. Short shot there from Patterson. It was Matt Kim right in his face. Couldn't get a lot on the follow through. But now Patterson passing there for Lemieux. Kind of split a pair of defenders. Came all the way to the near boards. Now a high step from the outside. Played back across inside the final minute. Lemieux takes a shot. That one wide off the end glass. The race is on. Triolo's going to get it, and he is all by himself. Triolo and Martin, and the Miners captain wins the battle. That had bad intentions written all over it as soon as it bounced off the end glass, with Triolo the only man back. "32 goals, I believe, in 6 playoff games in Edmonton, and Triolo has played in a number of these tournaments. Knows how to do it. One-time JVI color commentator, Mike Triolo. Tyler Burton will push ahead for Anderson, winning that face-off. Again, all timeouts still in play with 30 seconds to go here in the second. Anderson for Christensen. Miners bench wants them to use the entire shot clock. 16 seconds left in it. Christensen not going to oblige. He goes to the cage and scores. Pair of late goals now has a 4-goal lead for the Miners. Biggest lead for either side here in this game. 20.8 seconds to go in the second period. This becomes an important face-off because whoever wins it is almost guaranteed to call timeout for a goalie out play. It'll be between Buckshot and Kim. There's Kilgore calling timeout, but face-off won by Kim. And the Miners will have final shot here with 18.8 to go in the second period, with Edmonton up by 5. Once again, Six Nations and Snake Island underway. I believe they're at or near intermission time. Jake Elliott, Brian Shanahan with the call of that one. Coming up at 2 p.m. Eastern time. We've just passed 11 o'clock here in Oakville, Ontario. Ladner Pioneers, Ganawaki Mohawks, a pair of 1-0 teams will do battle at 2 p.m. on the main channel and the main floor here at the track. And then the second game of the day for both Six Nations and Edmonton, that comes up at 5 o'clock. A very interesting matchup that Jake and Patty will take you through. Day number 2 concludes at 8 p.m. Eastern time. The hosts, Oakville Rock, taking on Tuscarora. Myself and Brian Shanahan, the all-Mimico broadcast crew, will wrap up day number 2 on the main floor here at the Toronto Rock Athletic Center. Hebert's on the bench. Mike Triolo giving instructions down on the floor after the play was already announced over on the bench. There's 7. Here's Anderson. They tried the quick stick down to Rye on the near side, and that was the play. It seems not going to need a goal at the end of it because they got 2 late ones in the period. Did Edmonton to lead 9-5 over the Tomahawks. Both teams looking for their first win. We'll find out who gets it in 20 minutes. The third period comes your way in just under 10. Go get settled in. Time for breakfast. This is the 2023 President's Cup from the Toronto Rock Athletic Center in Oakville. We'll talk to you again in 9 minutes. Big third period coming up here between the Edmonton Miners and Tuscarora Tomahawks. Both teams needing a win here on day number 2. And it'll be another face-off win here for the Miners to go left to right to close this one out. Over on the other floor, Snake Island continues to lead Six Nations 6-3. Snake Island can be the first team to 2 wins here at the tournament. They don't play again, Snake Island, until tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. So 3 games in about 26 hours for Snake Island. And then they get, the better part of 30 some odd hours off. Wild schedule for Snake Island. Couple shots out of the gate here for Hebert. Cam McLeod backing him up today after a good start yesterday. You can assume that McLeod will be back in there for the second game of the day for Edmonton when they face Six Nations, who also are not going with Dusty Hill. Player of the game in their win over the Oakville Rock last night. Oakville will face Tuscarora to close out day number 2 coming up at 8 p.m. today. Baker print up, trying to find Patterson. Hunter Lemieux will pick up that errant pass in the corner. Chadwick, only with 4 to shoot, ends up firing it wide. Does Tuscarora have a 4-goal run in them? Is going to be the big question here in this third period. They have been able to hang with both Snake Island yesterday and Edmonton here in this one. Christensen has it, gets knocked down, and then takes a big chop on the ground. Tyler Kahn is going to go. Kahn goes after Anderson, who's cutting through and faces 4 defenders, but Kahn's going to go off for a slash. Looked like the official initially going for a high stick, but Edmonton's 3rd power play of the game. Blanking so far. Trillo in conversation with Christensen and Tristan Rye. On the near side, Anderson and Bergloff had their own conversation. Here's Anderson for Triolo. Working through Rye to Christensen in the corner. Triolo will now set the screen. Bergloff to Rye, who takes top spot. Triolo from the shooter. Rye to Anderson. Down on the crease for Bergloff. He got stuffed and couldn't shoot. Then forced it wide. Anderson with 5 to go. He's already sent one off for the change, and a twist shot from Anderson goes high on Martin. He's talking to the official. I wondered if he was asking him to check his throat guard, perhaps. I believe that was Ben Austin that stuffed that play. As Mike Seidel gets some attention from the trainer over on the Edmonton sidelines. Up top, Marvin Curry shoots it through traffic. Hebert saw it all the way, though, and gets the big pat on it. Here comes Golka. 50 seconds remaining in the power play. I don't know that I've ever seen Triolo rush a play. Always very calm. Anderson up top, Ride. Bergloff, look at the ball movement as the power play finally clicks on their 3rd opportunity and puts Edmonton into double digits. Bergloff's 2nd of the game. Anderson continuing to rack up points. Can't see officially how many in this game. The stats not available. Online for this one, Hunter Lemieux. Trying to find Chadwick up top. It was cleanly intercepted by Anderson, but then a Jonathan Jimerson check knocked it free. Chadwick unable to take advantage of the opportunity. Chadwick, the hidden ball play, still has it, so he rolls over the top as the Miners bench was all over it. Now 10 on their shot clock. Kim batting it back to Burton with that wooden stick, and Burton will take it back up. Melnick, Christensen, Triolo. Dalen Rye in through the middle. Melnick will take the shot, and Martin over to make the save. And again, not good enough to be matching goal for goal, shot for shot now. Tuscarora needing to string a couple together. Here's Buckshot. Sending it back to top. Miller. Shot goes wide, forward on the shot clock. Bounces back to Heron Snow, and no time for him to let one fly. It'll bounce back down in the corner where Burton will pick it up again. 5 minutes gone here in the third period. Shots dead even, 32 apiece. Make it 33 as Bergloff completes his hat trick. That pushes the deficit to 6, which I think is the highest from any game so far. And the Miners already losing yesterday. Number of teams that you would have expected to come away winners yesterday with ticks in the loss column, and not sure if the Miners know that the Rivermen are down over on the other floor, but some other important games coming up in the schedule. The goal differential and the goal formula is starting to become very important. So Edmonton not going to want to lay off the gas pedal. Remember, when we get down to moving day on Thursday, only 4 teams are going to advance into the semifinals. 1v4, 2v3 on Friday before our bronze and gold medal matchup at 3 and 7 on Sunday. Excuse me, those games, of course, on Saturday, September the 2nd. Final day of competition here at the President's Cup. By then, of course, we'll know matchup for the Man Cup. Man, all alone down in the corner was Chadwick. Coming up, Buckshot lays it right into Gillespie. Went off, I believe, the arm and up into the rafters. Gillespie doubled over just for a half second, but now stays out there. Ball back up top for Carson Reese. Intercepted, and Gillespie will go off, and now he can feel the pain. Milne flipping to Bergloff. Already with 3. Already 7 minutes gone here in the final period. Bergloff, far side, trying to feed Rye through. That was Tristan looking for Dalen. And Melnick sends it just wide of Martin. Where Krowski will take over. Kent Baker prints up. One-on-one with Burton. Now Heron Snow will clear Burton out of the way. That opens the passing lane to Lemieux. Kim on Lemieux. Lemieux finds a little spot to shoot and sent it through traffic. Miners have a lineup over at the trainer's table. Saw Nate Gillespie block that shot, and he's gone over to say something. Seidel was over there. Well, now looks like Seidel's going to come back and take his spot in line. So, tournament of war of attrition. You heard that a lot yesterday. Tuscarora already dealing with attrition of their own, losing Zach Belter in yesterday's opening matchup, and now a couple players getting banged up here for the Miners, who have to play twice today. Both of these teams doing the double dip. Our crew will be here for all 5. Low shot, skipping off the turf, Devin Napoleon. Welcome to the President's Cup. Now, Tuscarora have scored in bunches in this game. In that first period, it was 3 goals within a minute. Their other 2 were scored in quick succession as well. Looked like Baker Printup had full control of that faceoff. Now has to throw a couple whacks at Burton, who's on his way down towards the crease, and I believe that's with the faceoff twig. Triple team with the faceoff stick from Burton. Carson Reese has it roll away, back up for Patterson. Patterson faked the pass, went for the shot, and it bounced just wide and off the backboards. Came back to him, but just has to bomb it away late in the shot clock. Here's Bergloff. 20 seconds away from the halfway mark here of the third period. Tuscarora leaving a man up, so Edmonton has to do the same. Basically a 4-on-4 set. Somebody lost a glove. It's over on the Edmonton side. Patterson, as this offense spreads the floor. Chadwick was out all the way near the boards, where he now gives it back to Patterson. Cross floor. They continue to cycle that left side, and it's a goal from Nick Miller. Second of the game for Miller. The lead continues to shrink. From movement on that left side, the cycle was on. And the shot from Nick Miller. Only player by our count to score twice in this game for Tuscarora. Big collision down in the corner. We got gloves and face masks. Burton, not sure who he's got. There's only a couple white helmets over on the Tuscarora bench. Tyler Burton still in conversation with Devin Buckshot. I haven't seen much of this in this tournament yet, although a few spicy games. Last night, Snake Island and Ganawagi, 2 teams that know each other and had a bit of a history. Even Oakville in Six Nations. Who have played each other almost exclusively since the end of the Ontario season. Didn't really see too much of that, but now with Burton in the box, Tuscarora will send Tyler Kahn out to take the face off, and Matt Kim will do the same. 2 players that normally play with wooden sticks, and it is indeed going to be a woody battle for the face off. And it's still a loose ball that's going to roll down into Edmonton's zone. chop from Tuscarora. Called by the official. Ron John looking for that loose ball, shaking his head now. But put a two-hander in on Bergloff out of the corner. Here he is now. Triolo, hard shot. Martin looking behind him and got enough of it to make the save, and Ron John will go off for the slash. Darius Kilgore letting the official know what he thought of that. That call, 8:37 to go here in the third. 1 for 3, the Edmonton Miners power play. Trying to stretch this lead again. Trying to make their goal differential look a little bit better. First shot. Save was made by Martin, and now Kahn up on offense, spins back. Going one-on-one there with Jared Toll. Now takedown out in the corner. Milne and Lemieux were tangled up, and Lemieux is going to be awarded possession. Pair of players in Tuscarora's penalty box. So it's a 3-on-4. Edmonton up on top, far side Lemieux. Milne pushes him out of the corner, tries to jump at the edge of the crease, and again can't go through. Lemieux whacks it back towards the corner where the shot clock will sound. This will release the initial 2 penalties, which will include Devin Buckshot for Tuscarora. 40 seconds remaining in the traditional power play of the Miners. Triolo faking low, going high, and Martin there to meet it. 11-7 our score, 7 minutes to go in the third. Patterson winds up, fires, and that hits Hebert before going up and out of play. And Tuscarora with a chance now to take this power play all the way down. Only 19 seconds left in it. Patterson's going to check the clock. Still continues to wait it out. Couple battles. Chadwick in through the middle. Shot comes from the far side. That was Curry. Chadwick going back after it again. Double teamed on the boards. McCordy Golka got there first. Kim, the flip to Christensen. We are 5-on-5 here with 6:20 to go in the third. Christensen for Anderson. Burke coming over to set the screen. Anderson over the top. Triolo wants the ball, but they're going to go in behind him to Christensen, who turns and fires quickly. Martin looking to keep 1 foot back in the crease, and ball just rolled just far enough away. Look out here near side. Williamson had the bomb doors open with Krakowski in his sight lines. And now Napoleon finding Patterson. Change finally completes at the Tuscarora bench. Miller, hat-trick watch in full effect, looking for Hunter Lemieux. Pass just behind him. Miller will get it back, the shot, and Hebert on his knees. Bouncing to his right-hand side to make that play. Seidel comes out, and you can even see just trying to get that ball released, not 100%. We haven't seen Gillespie, I don't think, since he blocked that shot either. Bergloff taken down on this offensive set. Anderson with the ball. Tries to go pick and roll with Bergloff, and ball batted away. It was Heron Snow that broke it up. Low shot. Corey Becker rushing in and tried to skip it off the turf. Under 5 to go in the third. Let's see if Chase Martin starts coming to the bench here. Talking to some folks at the intermission, Melnick with it, believe that you probably need 4 wins to even put yourself in the conversation to be playing on Friday. Burke, the loose ball back for Christensen, second chance. Shot sails wide, shot clock reset. Burke for Christensen. So if Tuscarora lose this one, they basically have to go win out. Either team losing a second game means you basically need to be perfect. Down floor, Jimerson's shot saved by Hebert. Jimerson, will he get a second chance? No, tried to go back for Buckshot. That hit off a defender. And now Golka will lead it back for Morgan, trailing was Hawkins. And Golka chases it down out of the corner. Under 4 to play. Golka, low shot. Martin making the catch. Carson Reese scores. Three-goal deficit now. Was up as many as 6 on the 42nd shot. Goal does get through. There was a bit of a scrambled play, and low sidearm with traffic in front gets through Hebert. Roger Kreiser all the way down in the doorway to be pointing how he wants this face-off to play out. It will be Buckshot taking it against Kim, and Buckshot wins it clean. Straight back and into the stick of Ron John. For Lemieux. He'll go down the sideboards. Nick Miller draws it back, and crease call there at the side of Hebert. Pile up still on that red turf. Now everybody does get up and clear out. Anderson jogging over the restraining line. Under 3 to play in the third. Shot from Triolo, hits the end boards. Going up here for Christensen. He tries to come across to Anderson. Has to play it off the wall. Anderson cycling back. Bergloff takes the high pass. Rebound in the feet there of Chase Martin. And you can see Anderson try and dig that out. Still timeouts in the bag for both teams here. Lemieux's shot sails wide. Patterson trying to stop the over and back. That doesn't matter. Shot clock halfway through. Closing in on the 2-minute warning, 10 seconds away. Shot from Curry is stuffed. Big rebound up for grabs. Hunter Lemieux got in there. Ate a number of stick checks before shot hits off Hebert, goes up out of play. Tuscarora. Hunter Lemieux taking on 4 defenders. Still got the shot, and another chance for the Tomahawks, who will put Martin on the bench. Minute 49 to go. Buckshot out for Miller. Patterson taking top spot. Here's Buckshot and Patterson as they continue to work it around. This is all to open a shot for Patterson. Looked like he got it, but it just sailed high. And now no look for Carson Reese, and Hawkins takes his man hard into the outside boards. It's Buckshot, I believe. Marvin Curry, excuse me. Hunter Lemieux with a word for Milne. All this was coming as Edmonton was getting possession with 1:26 to go in the third. Anderson. Trolla will sneak a change in behind to get a defensive player out. Trying to take the transition away. everybody on Tuscarora is crowded near the offensive door. Anderson with 10 on the shot clock. As we enter the final minute of play here in the third. Anderson can't beat the double team, now sneaks through. Christensen lost control of the ball, and Chase Martin is going to beat two of his teammates to the bench. 50 seconds left to go. Kritkowski for Miller. Back to the near side. Heron Snow backing away from center. Patterson, quick stick to Lemieux, and it just floated off the end of his stick. That will likely do it as the Miners kick this one away almost literally from Mill. Lemieux wants the hard shot, ends up taking it right into Hawking. And Seidel and Lemieux find each other and go cage to cage. Tuscarora will call timeout with 20.7 to go. As much as the goal differential means a lot to Edmonton in the win, it means just as much to Tuscarora in an inevitable loss. Shouldn't say inevitable, excuse me, but potential loss. 3-goal deficit. Only missed out by one yesterday. Excuse me, 3 yesterday. 10-7 the final in their game against Snake Island. I mean, a -5 through 2 games. Not terrible by any stretch, but when they come on back-to-back days and you only have 6 to play, potentially 5, the wins that mean more. Still, Roger Chrysler would take an extra one here. Patterson out to his right side. Here's Buckshot working away from center, comes back. It's inside the bottom of the bar. The bouncer there from Miller completes his hat trick at the most opportune time. .9 on the clock. Tuscarora can't take another timeout, but they're going to need to win this faceoff. Kim will go out there with the Woody. Basically an all-defensive lineup. I wonder if they're just going to... Miners going to muck the draw. Roger Chrysler saying we have a timeout, but you can't take it because they already took one in the period. I'm fairly certain that's the rule. They have one, but they can't take more than one in a period. I don't know if Roger Chrysler's trying to talk them into that. They're going to get help from the standby official. Marvin Curry, who came out to take the faceoff, asked if he wins it, did they want timeout? And now Darius Kilgore is going to send everybody up into the offensive end as they confirm that no, they do not have a timeout. Even though they have one, they cannot use it. So it'll be Curry versus Kim with 12.9 to go here in the third. Tuscarora down by 2, despite leading in the shots by 3, 43-40 in that category. Losing his stick on the faceoff was Ronjon, and then bowled over Kim. Shot comes, and Hebert made the save. Loose ball right in front of Patterson, who can't pick it up, and that will do it. The Miners improve to 1-1, but perhaps most importantly, Tuscarora dropping to 0-2. Both teams will be back in action later today. You can catch the end of Snake Island and Six Nations on the main JVI channel. That's where you'll also find 2 p.m. Ladner versus Ganawagi. 5 p.m. Edmonton and Six Nations. Both of them playing their second game of the day. And then Tuscarora back at 8 p.m. against the Oakville Rock. We'll stand by for players of the game from both Edmonton and Tuscarora. 11-9 your final score. Sounds like Snake Island has picked up a victory over in their game against Six Nations. So the Rivermen, 8-6 your final there. Six Nations Rivermen dropping to 1-1 with Edmonton. Snake Island, the first team to 2 wins as they go to 2-1. Which for Tuscarora means a lot more as they drop to 0-2. You can see there on your screen for Tuscarora, Zach Belter in a walking boot. So likely not going to play in their second game today either. Bar Down players of the game being awarded Bar Down merchandise. And with a hat trick in the game, Nick Miller, player of the game for Tuscarora. For Edmonton, I would imagine it's Levi Anderson. We had him for 5 points, by no means official, and indeed it is, number 22 for the Edmonton Miners, who improve to 1-1 here at the 2023 President's Cup. Tuscarora with work to do now as they go down the stretch. They'll be back at 8 p.m. local time to face Oakville Rock. Edmonton takes on Six Nations. That's going to be a doozy at 5 p.m. But coming up next on the main JVI channel, on the main floor here at the track, Ladner, Ganawaki at 2. 11:48 local time now, so you've got a couple hours to go grab whatever meal or drinks or refreshments you need, or a nap if that's what you so desire, before Ladner and Ganawaki take to the turf. On behalf of the JVI Sports Network and the President's Cup Committee, my name is Matthew Carrick. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you in a couple hours from here at day number 2 of the 2023 President's Cup.
We want to thank our partners for their support of the 2023 President's Cup. Bar Down, Ice River Green Bottle Company, Gatorade, Big Chief Meat Snacks, and the Oakville Pump and Patio. Thank you for your support and helping all the competing teams as they chase the Prezi. We want to thank our partners for their support of the 2023 President's Cup. Bar Down, Ice River Green Bottle Company, Gatorade, Big Chief Meat Snacks, and the Oakville Pump and Patio. Thank you for your support and helping all the competing teams as they chase the Prezi. We want to thank our partners for their support of the 2023 President's Cup. Bar Down, Ice River Green Bottle Company, Gatorade, Big Chief Meat Snacks, and the Oakville Pump and Patio. Thank you for your support and helping all the competing teams as they chase the Prezi.